A lack of self-belief and self-perception is what causes many people to give up on their goals. And to deal with a lack of self-belief, you have to stop judging yourself and stop being overly critical of your actions. In this video, I will give you advice and stuff that I personally did that helped me achieve my goal that I knew was possible, but you know, I didn't expect it to happen because I'm so self-disbelieving like that. Like, not all the time do I think that I can achieve my goals. So first I'm going to get into it with mind over matter. What is mind over matter? It is where you or someone else can control a situation or a problem by using their mind. You may believe that, how can someone control a situation by using their mind? That's impossible. No, it is not impossible. It is perception. It is what perception is. Controlling things with your mind is perception. I will be sharing one goal in 2021 that I achieved by using mind over matter. I actually had multiple goals for 2021, but I want to talk about this main goal because I feel like it was life-changing for me and it really taught me more about myself. So I'll get to the point. A lot of people, when they're really wanting to achieve their goals, they have a very high level of self-doubt. Some will not believe in themselves. Some will come up with any excuse to say that it's impossible for them to achieve the goal that they want to achieve. Like, say if someone was competing in a race. No, but what if I crash? Like, what if I crash? I'm not gonna achieve my goal. What if you crash? You just gotta put in the effort. Now this is my story. So I used to race BMX. I used to be a BMX rider, and so I did that for about 4 years. 4 years I rode BMX. Anyways, then I got into competitive racing. I traveled across Australia to race at different tracks with different people, my age group. But at my own club, in my own BMX track where I live, there was this girl and she was always better than me. I could never be able to beat her. She was nice, but she did get a lot more mentoring within BMX. Her dad was a coach. She got lots of coaching. She traveled across the world to get training. She's always on her bike. She eats, sleeps, repeats BMX. And so I could never beat her. I could never beat her, ever. In 2021, during that year, I was facing segregation from my club, and they didn't want me riding around the girl that was faster than me in fear that I would get better than her, because they didn't want me training around her because they were scared that I was going to get better than her. So guess what? That led to me training at home. I did not train on the track. At least once a month I did. I didn't race. I didn't have any practice with competing with other people. But I was very determined to beat her at the NT titles, which is where we travel to a different place in our state, which is the Northern Territory, to compete other riders our age group. So I had this goal in me. I had a fire in my gut. I had such determination to beat her at the NT titles. That was my number one goal for the year, and I told myself that if I don't achieve this goal, I am going to be extremely mad. I trained at home. I have a gate start. I did sprints up and down the road on my bike. I went to the gym a lot. Always trained my quads so I can get power out of my legs when I'm pedaling. I manifested a lot. It worked. Yep. And then I didn't get much track time either, so I wasn't really used to riding on the track. When we arrived at the titles to compete, I had to race 10 races because The 5 were in my normal age group, which was merged with boys, 14 boys and 14 girls. There was only 2 14 girls, which was me and the other girl that was faster than me. And the other 5 races were the superclass, which are the faster riders combined together, which contain like 17-year-old boys and me being a 14-year-old girl. Anyways, so I was racing boys. You know what that's like. That is insane. I do not like racing boys. They are crazy competitive when they are on the bikes. Anyway, so had 10 races. Second race in, I crashed, and I actually crashed because I cut underneath one of the faster boys, and I was like almost gonna be in first or second place out of like 8 people. I cut underneath one of the fast boys, and he didn't see me coming. He fully crashed into my bike, and I actually snapped his frame in half. I snapped his carbon frame in half. There was a big snap in it. And I felt so guilty because I broke someone's bike. Well, they actually rammed into me, so. But I felt so guilty, and I offered, you can ride my bike for the next races, like, but he actually lived in the place, so he went home and got his old bike, and he's still pretty good. He's still a good rider. Okay, then you wouldn't believe it. The 4th race, so that was 2 races after, I crashed again. Someone's shirt was like hanging out, and my handlebars got caught on their shirt, and I fully went down. And this is a picture of me dead on the berm because I died, and it's so very sad. And I was like on the track, I was like, help me, help me, help me, because my helmet was choking me. But the officials, the first aid people, they're not allowed to touch you, otherwise you can't race the rest of the races. Like, you're done. Like, it's, I don't know, the officials just can't touch you, otherwise you can't race the rest of the races. So I was on the track, the helmet was choking me. I had to undo it with my broken wrist. yeah, I undo it, then I got back on my bike, then I finished off the race. Yay. But I actually didn't know my wrist was fractured. But I just thought, oh, it's just a... I didn't realize it was actually broken. Anyways, then I was fully crying and stuff. I was like in a lot of pain. Everyone was asking if I was okay. Anyways, my dad got duct tape. He duct taped my wrist up. It was like pretty stiff. I could not bend it at all. I couldn't bend my wrist, so I was on the handlebars. This wrist was like this, and my other one was like fully bent on the bike. And so the girl I couldn't beat, I actually beat her in every single race, all 5 races in my age group, because I made some crazy tricks on the track. As you can see there, I cut her up on the berm, which I'm in the black, and as you can see there, I cut her up on the berm, and that's with me, with my stiff wrist, my broken wrist. And I completed the rest of the 6 races with a broken wrist. This was because of my never give up attitude, mind over matter. I got inside of my competitor's head. I got inside their head. I made them think, oh my gosh, she will not give up. She is so determined. And I was fucking determined. I didn't want to leave that place without getting my #1 plate. You know, I was so determined to win because it was my goal of the year. I could never beat that girl, and I beat her with a broken wrist every single race. The rest of the 6 races with a broken wrist, I beat her just by making small tricks on the track and by believing in myself and getting inside her head. And here's some more images of me. And you know, like, I keep this story really safe with me because Within the BMX committee, I went through a lot more than what I'm just saying. I'm just telling you, I'm sugarcoating most of it because I don't want to be that type of person who, you know, exposes everything online. Exposes everything online. I don't think that's the type of person I am, but if I could, I would. There's definitely a lot of cheats and liars out in the world, and you know, you just gotta work around them. You just gotta be truthful to yourself. You gotta put in the hard work yourself if you want to get somewhere. Life is not fair, and you know, for me to win that, it was a gift. And God was with me when that happened. When I got this #1 plate, God was with me. I could feel him. He was behind my back. He was by my side, telling me not to give up, to keep fighting no matter if you're in pain, no matter if you have a broken wrist. What I want you to learn from this is that some people can be put in situations where it's not in their control what happens to them. And, you know, it's really your perception is what changes everything. For me to believe that I could still ride with a broken wrist gave me more power to push me further than my limits. I pushed myself further than my limits. And this story is so much cooler if I could have had you to experience it in real life, because what I did consistently to get me to that point in life by achieving first is a lot of effort. And you know, having a little bit of faith in yourself could actually do you some good, and that's what I have. Basically, I used to be the person who always doubted myself, who always talked badly about myself, who always said, I can't do this, no, I'm gonna just give up. But you know what? I'm gonna thank my parents for being there at the NT titles, because I don't think I would have kept riding with my broken wrist without them. Because I actually said, no, I don't want to do it, I can't do it. But my dad duct taped my wrist and said, you're doing it. I don't care if you have a broken wrist. And so yeah, they did. They pushed me to my limits because they knew my potential. My potential was I could beat my rival, which I could. And I'm grateful for God because I believe that He was there. I believe that He guided me into achieving my goal as well, because I just did. I felt Him. I felt the presence. I can't explain it, but can't explain why, but I just did. Also, something else you should avoid doing is telling people your goals. Working in silence is the key to success. This is what I did. I tricked my rival, which was a girl who was faster than me, into believing that I didn't train at all because I didn't turn up to the track. I didn't turn up to races. I didn't turn up to compete with her because they obviously didn't want me training around her. I trained in silence. I worked at home. I worked my ass off every day at home. It's just like the gym. You don't have to go to a gym. You can do shit at home and still get the same results. And so I literally had no choice to do my training at home because I didn't feel comfortable training at my own track. So I feel like it's very important to just focus on yourself. Build your dreams in silence. If there are people that are going to support you, of course tell them your goals, but don't just tell them for the sake of it. If you've got goals, keep it to yourself, and until you've achieved them, tell people. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm just saying. Like, I'm sharing my story on something that is pretty cool, especially for me to achieve my goals. I also achieved academic awards in that year. I've always had a streak of academic awards, and I have a streak of winning at athletics carnival, so I'm pretty much just got laser focus on all the things I want to achieve. And yeah, so it's just important to have a vision of what you want to see yourself being. You set goals, you do things in order to develop yourself and achieve your goals. Now, what I did to achieve my goal is consistency. I trained every day. I worked hard every day in silence. I tricked my rivals. I pretended like, oh no, I don't do much work at all. I barely ride. You don't see me turn up. But I do. I work in silence. You gotta work in silence. You literally let your progress be your voice. That's literally what I did. My hard work paid off at the titles, the competition. And I also tried to get rid of all the self-doubt and any negative talk to myself that would bring me down. If you are going to talk negatively about yourself, you should stop immediately. That's just going to bring you down. It's not going to bring you up. It's not going to make you a stronger person if you're just going to say, nah, I actually can't do this because I'm not capable of this. Say if you wanted to be in a competition or something, you don't say to yourself that you're not worth that much, or that you're not as good as everyone else. I was average. I still am average, but I was an average BMX rider, but I put in the effort. I believed in myself, and that got me to where I wanted to be. You know, have a little hope in your life. Don't think that because you hurt yourself or something that you can't keep going. That's not going to stop me. That's not going to stop you. That's not going to help you achieve your goal if you're just going to give up. You know what? And failures are important in life. It's not that I failed, but if I would have stopped riding, that would have been a major failure in my life. If I didn't keep riding with my broken wrist, I would have regretted that so much. I want to say a few words to people who were like me, who just negative talk themselves day in, day out, who never believed in themselves, who just thought that, oh, only professionals can do this shit, only blah, blah, blah. It's not true. No. If I can do stuff with a broken wrist, you can achieve your goals. You can be the smartest student in your class if you want to be that. You can be a scientist, you can be a doctor, you can be a carpenter, you can be a tradie. Whatever you want to do, you go and do it. What is stopping you? What is going to stop you? Whatever you want to do, go for it. Go for it. Work your ass off to get it. Successful people don't just get successful on the spot. They gotta work to where they are. They don't just get successful on the spot. They do put in hard work, and I want you to do that as well. Life isn't easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. Before you go, I want you to write a whole list of goals that you want to achieve before the end of the year. They don't have to be unrealistic goals. Just make realistic goals that you think are attainable. That you think you have the potential to achieve. That if you put in the hard work every single day, that if you, I don't know, if you're wanting to go to a university when you're older, that you can sit down and study for 4 hours a day or 1 hour a day. If you want to be that professional athlete, you go out and train every day. Consistency is important. And you got to make sure your goals are meaningful to you. You got to make sure that you actually desire the goals. Otherwise, you're just going to forget about them. They won't be important to you if you don't make them meaningful. Anyways, I hope that you sort of grasped a different concept of how goals are important and how goals can actually strengthen you as a person and develop you in very beneficial ways. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I will be trying to upload more and get better at producing these videos. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing day or night, and yeah, peace.